Well, hello. I'm joined here today by some Poudre High School juniors and seniors who are going to share with us a little bit about how they went about choosing their pathway at Poudre High School when they were coming in from the 8th grade. So I'm going to start by having these students introduce themselves by sharing their name, the pathway that they are part of, and something that they love about Poudre High School. We'll go in alphabetical order here just to keep it easy. We don't have to do that through our conversation, but just for now. And Aaliyah, will you start?
Yeah, so my name's Aaliyah and I'm a senior at Poudre. I'm in the Health Science and Human Services pathway. One thing I love about Poudre is the community that all the teachers there you just get comfortable with and you feel like a family there because everyone's just great and makes you feel welcome. So you guys will have a great time here and have fun.
Yes, hello, my name is Casey. I'm a senior here at Poudre High School. Definitely one of my favorite things about Poudre High School is the expansive activities that you guys have the opportunity to participate in. You're not just set in, one pathway, and you can kind of expand across the school, and there's so many different cool opportunities within each pathway, and you guys really get the chance to, dive into each one of those. So I think that's a really neat aspect of Poudre High School.
Hi, I'm Gregory Woodley. I am currently a junior here at Poudre High School, and I am in the entrepreneurship pathway. And something I really enjoyed about the school is I just liked when I came in, everyone was so welcoming and made you feel just made you feel comfortable for coming in.
Hi, I'm Hunter. I'm currently a junior, and my pathway is engineering and design. And my favorite thing about Poudre is all the people. They're super nice and friendly.
Hi, everyone. I'm Luke. I'm a junior. I'm representing the MYP IB pathway. My favorite thing about Poudre, it's really similar to Aaliyah's, but I really love the communities I'm a part of, whether that's my sports teams, IB, that kind of thing. The relationships I've made have been super meaningful to me.
Hi, I'm Quinn. I'm a senior. I'm representing the Arts and Humanities pathway. And my favorite thing about Poudre is the areas of activities that we have. There's a lot of ways you can get involved and ways you can find programs to support your interests. And I've really enjoyed exploring that.
Awesome. Thank you guys again for being here today. My next ask is for you to kind of think back 3-4 years to when you were an 8th grader and in the process of choosing your pathway. And I would just love to hear from each of you as to how you chose your pathway or why you chose that pathway. Whoever wants to go first, feel free to unmute.
I can start. Well, I guess going in, I've always been an artsy kid, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me to pick arts and humanities. I knew that was an area that I wanted to focus on, and I knew that was an area that I was interested in going to college for, which I now plan on doing. So I thought that it would be a good pathway to help support those interests and help me focus on them. So, yeah.
Yeah, I can go. So for me, Health Science and Human Services is, I think, the pathway that was made for me because I'm a very service type person. I love to help and serve people, and that's kind of the pathway where that is. I've also just loved medical stuff, so that's where I found it, to go into for human services and health sciences. As like when I go to college, I want to be a nurse, so it's going to help me a lot with what I want to do next.
I can go next. When I was younger, I really enjoyed building with Lego bricks. So I kind of thought the engineering and design pathway would be great for me. And I really look forward to the geometry and construction class.
I can go next. So I always knew I was pretty serious about school. I wanted to challenge myself going into high school. I wanted to push myself to see what I could do. I came from Wellington Middle School, and Wellington Middle School is not an IB school, so it was something that was new to me. But once I became familiar with it, I really liked the ideas behind the program, and it really prepares you for college, which I always kind of knew I was college bound. So if that's something you're interested in, IB might be something you want to consider.
Sweet. For me, choosing the pathway came pretty naturally. I think I forgot to say earlier, but I'm in the agricultural pathway. And that's something that, like I said, came really natural because I was born and raised on a farm. And so I knew right from the get-go that I wanted to do something agricultural and continue agriculture throughout my life. I plan on going to college, pursuing a degree in agribusiness, and then also, either continuing our family's farm ranch or a family friend's dude ranch. And so I knew that's something that I wanted to do entering high school. And I knew that the agricultural pathway is something that supported that, and I've definitely learned lots of information that I've been able to apply to my own family's farm, and that I've applied to my college search too, and kind of narrowing it down exactly where I wanted to go college-wise. So if you're, grew up on a farm, or even if you're interested in anything remotely agricultural or in natural resources, if you're interested in like National Park Service or you're super outdoorsy, I love hunting and hiking and kayaking and mountain biking, all that sort of stuff too. So this is definitely the pathway if you're interested in anything outdoors or agricultural related, anything like that. I definitely suggest it.
So why I chose entrepreneurship pathway is I've always wanted and was interested in going outside when I graduated high school and college. I've always wanted to get into something entrepreneurship or business pathways, so I thought that would fit for me. And a class that I was really excited for was the business leadership class, as you got to run your own escape room and run your own business as a high school student, which was really cool.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. I guess I just want to ask a quick follow-up question, which is, have you had any experiences within your pathway, whether it's been a class that you've taken or a club you've participated in that has further impacted your next steps or been a good experience for you? Feel free to bounce around again.
I could jump on here. So for me, I just took anatomy, which is obviously part of the health science and human service pathway, and it honestly just helped me push me more further to why I liked that kind of stuff, because it was cool because you got to dissect animals and you got to do a lot of things looking at the body, and that just pushed me further to figuring out what I wanted to do after high school. So you'll have those classes where you'll see like, oh yeah, I really enjoy this. And they'll push you further to knowing exactly what you might want to do after high school.
One of the great things too about the agricultural pathway is when you're entered into that Ag 1 class, you get to be a part of this great thing called FFA. And I've had lots of great experiences with FFA. It's hard to narrow down just one, but I remember, freshman year, closer to like right at the start of the year, end of August, we were able to compete in creed speaking. And as a first year FFA member, you'll be able to compete in this, and you recite the creed and you have to memorize I think 5 or 6 paragraphs, and then recite it by memory in front of judges, and you get sworn. And it sounds really daunting up front, and I was like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. But looking back, that was kind of the start of something pretty great throughout FFA, and I've definitely increased my speaking skills way beyond whatever I thought I could be. And so, you grow in aspects you definitely don't see. I never would have thought that I'd grow in speaking skills through joining the agricultural pathway, but it's definitely something that I've grown in. And I've had lots of great experiences outside of just speaking too, like I said, through meat judging and animal judging and lots of that sort of stuff too. You get to experience some pretty cool and pretty neat competitions that you wouldn't be able to experience otherwise.
I can go next. One of my favorite things about IB MYP thus far is kind of similar to Casey's, is that I've become a much better communicator than I was. IB really focuses on writing especially, but other types of communication as well. And I've definitely grown in my writing skills. I'm a much better writer than when I came in as a freshman. But also, I've had a lot of great experiences with other students that are similarly, focused on their academics and they want to do well. And then each year we do this thing called International Day, where we go and we listen to presentations given about different cultures from around the world. IB is very internationally oriented, so I really enjoyed getting to sample different cultures' food, learn a little bit about them, and it's just overall a really fun day.
I can jump in here. Well, I went to Lincoln and we have one art class the whole 3 years. And so I took it every year. And going into high school, I was really looking forward to meeting some other art-oriented students. And so when you go into freshman year, you have to take design foundations. And I was kind of disappointed because it's definitely a mix of people, but it was a really fun class, being able to kind of have some upperclassmen in the class and other freshmen. And eventually you can start taking a studio art class, which I'm in now, which has been so fun because it's a pretty small group of kids who are super into art as well. And that's probably been the highlight of my experience, just being able to get super nerdy talking about different aspects of art and studying artists and stuff like that. And it's been so fun.
Something I really enjoyed is the two clubs I've tried is DECA and FBLA, and kind of what Casey and Luke said. I wasn't really coming in. I wasn't really great at talking or just communicating well, and those two clubs really helped me and try to just communicate better. I really enjoyed those, and meeting students from doing those clubs too that are kind of similar interests than you.
One of the best classes I had was geometry and construction, where you get to learn geometry, but immediately use what you just learned into building a house for Habitat to Humanity. And you really get a sense of community while building the house with the rest of the people in your class.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for your time and sharing a little bit about who you are and about your pathway. It's super appreciated, and go Pooter.